Hey, welcome back, everyone. Welcome to the Steep. So in today's episode, we're going to take a look at a tool called Spoofcheck. It's actually a Python shell script, or excuse me, a Python script that will actually go out and take a look at domains and whether or not they can be spoofed. So it's fantastic if you're looking into DNS and mail security in particular. Especially if you're looking at SPF and DMARC records, DKIM, all that good stuff. So it is a port from the original Spoofcheck, which was actually written in Python 2. So this has been updated to Python 3. You can pick this up from A6Avend, so A6Avend Spoofcheck, directly on GitHub. So when you're ready, go ahead and download that code, or we'll use a Git clone in this case. And you might want to install that wherever you feel comfortable. Usually for things that are third-party oriented, I tend to install those under OPT, but it's totally your prerogative. And again, you'll see I'm running as the lower level account here. That would be ideal in this case. If you get into trouble and for whatever reason you don't have permissions, you can just do a sudo bang bang and it'll recomplete this command or redo this command. So just really quickly, that syntax again is going to be just this, right? And that will run your previous command, only this time with sudo passed in front of it. So just another tip and shortcut there. Once you're ready, go ahead and cd into that Spoofcheck directory. And you'll see here a number of scripts. And go ahead and make sure that you've chowned that ownership. You'll see here that there are some requirements. Now, if you do try to run the requirements right now with pip, it's going to tell you that it has a particular problem and that you would need to run the break fix or the break system packages to actually fix this issue, or to run through APT. Now, I'll save you the trouble. There is no a file for this under APT, so you're not going to find this package. So the shortcut really here is to create a Python environment for yourself. And again, you have to have permissions. So if you don't, make sure you have the appropriate permissions to write to this directory. But you're just going to create a virtual environment for yourself. And you do that with this syntax. Whoops. With this syntax. And sorry, let me clear the screen so that's a little bit easier to see. So you've got that, and once you're ready, your next command, and the only reason I'm not completing these is I've already kind of done them for you. So your next command is simply going to be to activate this virtual environment. So, and once you do that, you will see that you get a different type of configuration here. And let me just minimize this bad boy. Whoops. All right, there we go. And now you can see how it actually appends or prepends rather that .venv to the front of your path. So once you've activated that, now you should be able to run your pip install -r and then the requirements. And there's a series of requirements that need to happen here. And in this case, I've already installed them. So you're going to see that mine are satisfied. Now that we're finally done with the 3-minute setup, we can actually run the tool. So from this perspective, you can now simply run Spoofcheck and then the domain you're going after. Now, the one thing you're going to see here is, whoopsie, right? We're getting a Control M character. So that's a classic Windows porting issue. And what that means to me is the author of this port probably developed this on a Windows system and simply copied it over. So we want to get rid of all of those command characters or those control characters so our stuff actually works. So the other thing that we're going to run is a DOS to Unix, and we want to run that against every file in this directory structure. And what this is going to do is strip out all of those ugly Control M characters, so our script works as designed. And if you're not familiar with the DOS to Unix, I know I've been kind of showing it to mentees for quite some time over the years, but it's a fantastic little utility that you should have installed by default. If not, just app install it and you should be in good shape. But now, once you've done that, Spoofcheck should be off to the races. And at this juncture, we can simply type in our all decked out domain, And in this case, it looks like we've got a particular issue, right? Where we're having problems with the email protections lib. So we're going to have to troubleshoot that next. So again, you know I like to give you homework. So I'm going to pause the video here and see if you can get that resolved for yourself. And then we'll pick it up again. Okay, so hopefully you can see the trick here. We're actually in the virtual environment. So what was happening is when we were trying to run spoof check, the requirements, right, that we were leveraging were not being referenced because it was actually calling out to the non or the global installation of Python and not the Python 3 here within our virtual environment. So that was causing us fits. So there are two options here. We can actually run it with the full path as you see here, or alternatively, we could go in and modify that file. So if we were to take a look at that spoof check, you're going to want to see here right at the top that it says user bin Python, and that was the trouble, right? It was calling out to that. So again, let me just quit out of here so you can see that run one more time, and we'll just do a quick up arrow. And there it is, right? So it keeps telling us, hey, it can't find this particular import. So, but once we have figured that out and we simply go back to specifying our actual local installation here, then it runs like a champ. So now you may be asking yourselves, well, what do I care about this, right? Here is the output that we're looking for. So we want to make sure that there is an SPF record. We want to make sure that there's actually a DMARC record. So, and when you don't have reject or quarantine set here, if this is set to P equals none, that really is the telltale sign that you're in trouble. So bear that in mind. But anyhow, please add spoof check to your arsenal, and happy testing, happy hunting. We'll see you next time on the Steep. Be cool.